Jason Tartick, who's the host of Trading Secrets, the podcast. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. This is like a bigger and bigger topic, not just jobs in general. I think that's a big topic for everyone, but especially for recent graduates. So what are you saying to people right now about the world they're living in?
It's an interesting topic, right? Because I have messages to two people. Parents, I'd say be patient. Gen Z, I would say get hungry. We know Gen Z in general, very, very resilient and adaptable. Think about what these students have gone through from starting college. They've gone through streaming university, the pandemic. 2 years ago, I don't know if you used AI. I didn't use AI.
No.
1 year ago, not really. Today,
every day.
You have to.
Yes.
If you're a small business, you have to. Think about these students. 2 years ago, they claimed their major. They're now graduating, and every single employer is dealing with uncertainty in the economy. Job reports, obviously, worse since August 2021.
Yeah.
And where are they going to reinvest entry-level tasks? Into AI, because if you don't keep up with it, you're losing the race to the adoption of AI. So I would say for Gen Z right now, the focus has to be, how can you be resilient and adaptable to the change that is so constant in a space that we've never seen, but it's been integrated so fast?
It has, and you say get hungry, and I get that, and that should be advice for any generation. I think the problem, or one of the problems with this generation, is that it is more challenging. It is harder, I think, than it was, for Gen X technically, right? So certainly, if you look back to like the baby boomers, they did pretty well compared to their parents, right? It was I don't want to say easy, but it was relatively common for someone to do better than their parents. Same, Gen X, again, relatively common, maybe not as common. Now, really hard. So that's like a hard thing to get your head around, I think, for a lot of young people.
Well, I think when it comes to career navigation and financially, we know that Gen Z is struggling like no other generation has.
Because it's really expensive.
It's very expensive, but Bank of America just came out with a study. By 2040, with the different generational changes in wealth that will be distributed, they will be the wealthiest, most powerful generation of all time by 2040.
So when they get the wealth that their parents and that they've accumulated, and when it's passed down, that transfer helps them. So, all right, hang out. You guys will be all right. So it's going to take a while.
My point is that it's coming, and we know that their wealth is going to multiply by 5x in the next 5 years. But that's why I say get hungry, because they understand social currency in this country like no other generation. They know the adoption of social media. They know the changes in AI. And the biggest thing is, 30 million plus small businesses right now, me being one of those entrepreneurs, every single day are trying to integrate AI.
That's a good point.
We need help with it.
So you went, you worked on Wall Street for some time. Right? Now you've kind of gotten involved in what people generally describe as kind of the creator economy, right?
Sure, yeah.
So that exists for people from this generation as well. This idea that you don't need to be necessarily attached to a large corporation. If you can create it, you can make money off.
By 2030, the creator economy is going to be a $500 billion economy. I own a talent agency, and we're working with creators every single day. So I think for entry-level workers like Gen Z, you're coming out of school. We know unemployment in that gap is over 10%. Try gag work, try freelance work, just get some entry-level opportunities there, and then once you have some type of experience, there's so many different directions that you can go. But I think you got to get innovative, you got to get creative, and this generation will be the wealthiest, the most powerful in a very short period of time, so it's go time. I think
you're just like almost waiting for their parents to be gone here. That's not, well, there's got to be a better way of doing it, Jason.
I mean, yeah, that's another issue too, right? Is like we do have a housing crisis in this country right now.
We absolutely do.
The affordability, supply.
100%. We need more housing.
Exactly. So we're first-time home buyers. The average age right now is 38. In 1991, it was 28.
That's crazy.
So that is impacting like every area when we look at professional growth, financial importance, and just personal challenges. It's very, very real within this generation, and there's so much to navigate. But the other thing, too, is we know that money's being invested in the right places. I think Mark Zuckerberg said at the White House yesterday, he's investing $600 billion into AI by 2028. Yeah. So all these new changes that are coming that maybe you and I might be lagging a little bit on, they're all over it, and if they can adopt it quick, there's going to be massive upside.
Speaking of investments, what about personal investments and how you talk to this generation? I know financial literacy is something that's been important to you about getting started with that early. I mean, the simplest message to me is just do it early, because over time it's going to build up and you're going to have more than you could ever imagine as opposed to starting later.
I mean, that's a great message. I think an even better message is that we need to acknowledge that we were not taught anything about money growing up. Therefore, we don't talk about it.
That's true.
And that is impacting our love lives. That's impacting how we're dating. That's impacting so much of what we're doing socially. And so I think the biggest thing is we need to stop weaponizing, blaming, and shaming people when they talk about their income, they talk about their debt levels.
Yeah, it's like weird in this country to ask someone, hey, how much money do you make? Nobody does that.
Yeah, but how can you improve your scorecard if you don't talk about it?
Right, so you're saying that that should be a more common conversation.
I think it needs to be the forefront of what we do and how we do it. And we just need to get comfortable because we'll just be better consumers, spenders, and earners when we have an understanding of what people make in certain industries, where they're spending, where they can be better. And I just think we just need to start talking about it. That's the basics. And we do need to start teaching it in our school system.
Yeah.
That is a huge
financial literacy.
Financial literacy needs to be started from day one.
I agree. I mean, you're right. We learned hardly anything about it in school.
Correct.
Hardly anything. I mean, I started out this in sports broadcasting coming out of college, and then went to Bloomberg where I worked. That's where I learned about financial news and didn't learn anything about it coming up. Now, of course, in college you could be a finance major or something, you can learn it there. But in high school and the elementary schools, we do a terrible job.
For sure. And just think there's so many different things with generational shifts. Like millennials are big retail spenders.
Yeah.
We know Gen Z is spending on wellness. And so I think when we can start to study what are we doing with our money, how are we earning it, what industries are expanding, it's going to give us all an opportunity to be in a better place to win. So my message out there is we can't manage money, we can't talk about investments, we can't talk about dealing with the debt burden, which is massive when you look at consumer debt in this country, until we get comfortable talking about it. And when someone creates the vulnerability to talk about it, we're not shunning them for doing so.
Cool. How much money did you make last year?
Last money? I made about $2.7 million.
2.7 million last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a podcast, and every single year, I expect my guests to come on and talk to me about financial transparency. Celebrities, athletes, social media influencers, and so one episode every year, I disclose how much I make.
And that was through podcasting?
That's through podcasting, investments, my agency, and then I'm also a creator, speaking, TV appearances. It's a wide array of things.
Doing well, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
These are important
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.